Okay, so now we're going to move on with the build. And what I did was I actually made a playlist on the Build the Titanic from AGORA Models. And we're going to break it down between the unboxing videos and the build videos. So if you want to see what's in this shipment, this is shipment number 1, then you can go and check out the playlist and you'll be able to see everything that's included. I also made a playlist of all the Titanic related items that I've shown over the years. So if you're curious about the Titanic and you want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description. So let's move on with the build. So we're going to use issue number 1 first. Alright, so let's check out the parts list. You can see all the parts that we got to do. So why don't we go ahead? We're going to take all the parts out over here, and we got the gorgeous wood planking that's going to go on the deck. And you can see how it's going to go. Is that everything? Yep. You can see it's going to be overlaid right on top. Very nice. So I think what I want to do is I want this to be together for a long time, and I know this does have adhesive on it. But I think we're going to set up some glue. Just like that. And in addition to the deck, I want to glue in all the little parts. It's going to go everywhere as well. So, and I have a little, I like to use a Q-tip because I don't want to ruin one of my brushes. So what's the first thing we're going to do? Check how the wooden decking fits on the deck support panel. Carefully peel the backing away from the wooden deck and set upright, taking care not to bend the wood. Note that the adhesive is extremely strong, so it is difficult to remove the deck for a second attempt. Starting from the tip, stick the self-adhesive wooden deck on to part 1A, making sure the holes in the deck are aligned with those in the support, and that there is no air bubbles. Once the decking is in position, smooth it down with a soft, dry cloth. Make sure there's no debris on it. What I think I want to do is I want to put a little bit of glue. I mean, not a ton, because we're not going to need all that much, but just enough just to get it on there. You figure in some of the areas where it's going to need it the most. Again, you don't have to saturate it. We just want to put areas of the glue down where it's going to keep everything nice and secure. And then again, what I'm going to do is we're going to glue all the pieces into the position as well. That way there, this will stay together. We don't want this coming apart anytime soon. So we don't have a ton of glue, but we got enough to keep everything in position. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually peel the backing off. Just like that. And let's put this beautiful wooden decking on. So if we do it like this, we fit it right into position. There. This might do. Just enough to kind of there. Now, in addition to the adhesive backing that's on the back of the wooden planks, we also glued it with the wood glue. So you just want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Make sure we get the air out, and I think we did that when we went over it with the block. You can see it's nice and flat. There are no bubbles. because if there are any bubbles, you want to, at this point, you really want to get it nice and flat and smooth. All right, so that looks pretty good. So now we're able to move on. That's all set. And as you can see now, let's see, we've got 1C, which is the anchor. You can see where that's going to go on the side. And then we have 1F, 1G, and we have what look like bollards or generators or pulleys. And we can see where they're all going to go. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to do that right now. And like I had said, I want to use the some glue. So let's start with the anchor. The anchor is going to go right over here. So what I want to do, we're going to put just a bit of glue on the pieces that are going to go in. And that's going to go right there. Look at that. And like I said, we're not putting a ton of glue, just enough. So if you notice, it's smooth on top, but on the bottom, you can see there are little wells where the pieces are going to stay. So when you push it in, it's pretty secure, but the way I look at it is, why not put a little bit of glue and make sure for certain it doesn't go anywhere. So we got the anchor in. So let's take a look now at some of these. And this would be piece 1D. If I can, all right. Let's get these out. And, all right, so these are the bollards. We should have 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. And how many of these are there? All right, there should be 3. And they're going to go right in. You can see it looks like one is going to go right up here. And we've got the vents. All right, let's start. Let's see. Let's put one in. And it's going to go in just like this. It's looking like it's going to go right there. All right, so now that we know where it's going to go, actually, you know what? Let's take some of the vents and place everything before we glue it into place, just to make sure that this is exactly where everything is going to go. There we go. You can see how that's starting to take shape. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to put some of the bollards into place. When you're doing it, you can see the larger piece is the one that's going to be towards us right now. Because the hole, if you're wondering why they're not even, one of the holes are larger. That's to position them in the correct position. Okay, so we got those on. And I think right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue everything in position now. So, all right, technically we're not supposed to have the hatch cover on. All right, so why don't we start? And like I said, what I'm going to do, we're going to glue the pins. Just enough. And you push them down enough you can hear a click. So we're going to do all the bollards right now. And the last bollard of the forecastle, we're going to glue it into place. And let's just make sure that they're all clicked into place. And again, you can hear them click into place. All right, we'll do the same thing with the vent. Little bit of glue. make sure it's facing the right way. So this will be facing the back of the ship or aft, and we got the little, vent. And again, it clicks right into place. All right, so let's put this one back on. And again, a way to tell to make sure they're facing the right direction, there's one narrower and there's one larger peg to fit into one narrower and one larger hole, which is a pretty good idea. Little bit of glue and clicks into place. There. All right, these are all in place. And what's the last thing is we have this little vent over here. And put just a bit of glue. And that gets clicked into place. Okay, so that's step 3. So again, let's go around. I'm going to make sure everything is secure. Look guys, if you don't want to glue this, it feels pretty sturdy how it's going in. So you want to make sure too. Did you notice it looked like there was a little bit of a formation of a bubble on the deck, the planks. So you just want to make sure that it's absolutely flat. It looks good. And we have all the pieces clicked into position. And like I said, I just used the glue because I wanted to make sure this was going to be a very permanent thing. Actually, we'll use the back of the Q-tip for just a little bit of the glue that came out on the sides. Clean that up just a bit. Although the R.M.S glue is really good at disappearing when it's dry. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Again, we want to make sure that there are no bubbles. Look at that, it's looking pretty good. All right, so now we're ready to move on to step 4. Now we're going to take the ventilation duct, let's see, that's 1I, and fit it in the deck between the central winch and the aft port bollard. So you can see what we're going to use. We're going to use one of the ventilation ducts, and we're going to use these two. So this is going to be, if you're not sure where they go, if the holes line up, then you know that that's the position that it needs to be in. So we're going to do the same thing with the other side. And again, I'm not pushing it down to click it. I just want to make sure that this is where they go. And you can see the little duct, the little vent duct. And that's going to face the aft end of the ship. So, just like that, you can see where everything is supposed to go. So what I want to do now is we're actually going to glue it into position. And let's see. That looks pretty good. So I think what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to step 5. Identify the fixing point for the hatch, the front of the breakwaters. Check the fit. Then use a cocktail stick or a similar item to apply a little glue to the sockets. Fix the hatch in place as shown. So see, they do recommend using a little bit of the glue for that. All right. So we're going to glue them anyway. We've been gluing everything right along. And this is going to go this way. All right. So what I'd like to do, we'll put a little bit of glue just like that, and a little over there. But I still want to kind of dip the pegs in the glue. Alright, so when everything's glued into place, that's looking pretty cool. Alright, what's next? So that was step 5. And moving on to step 6, you can see we're going to put in the steam valves and the capstans. So these are the capstans, and we got the steam valves. So again, they're going to go in just like that. And it looks like we've got one extra steam valve. I just want to make sure I didn't skip a hole. Alright, so this is where they're all going to go. So I think what we can go ahead now is we can go ahead and glue everything into place. There we go. Let's see, we got everything. Yep, and we've got one spare steam valve. So you can see the completed work. This shows the assembly work that has been completed so far in the forecastle deck. Store the work carefully in a storage plastic bag or shoebox, useful for small parts. And look at that. Beautiful. We made sure we don't have any of the bubbles in the deck. Everything is glued into place. The wood planks are nice and flat. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, now we're ready to move on. All right, we're going to start with number 2 now. You can see parts pack. I don't think we're going to need any glue for this, although we may for the name tag. Let's go right to the build. You can see, let's take a look at the parts list. Alright, so let's go over to step 1. Take the upper and lower hull sections for the starboard side of the bow deck and check how they fit together. See insert. Alright, self-explanatory. And you can see we're going to add 2 screws. It looks like those are AM screws, so we're going to take this section. You guys can see the raised. And just like that. Ooh, pretty. Alright, now we'll take a couple of screws. And these are AM screws. Alright, this is going to be metal on metal, but you still don't want to over tighten them to the point where they're stripped. So just tighten it and snug it up. When you think it's tight enough, just kind of see if you can give it another maybe quarter of a turn. Just like that. It's looking good so far. Now it's pretty simple. Now it's step 1. Alright, now we're going to take step 2, connecting the panel 2D and strengthen the joint between the hull sections. We're going to use 4 of the AM screws. I think I'm going to start with the middle screws. Yeah. You can see the other ones that we're going to attach to right over there along the line. Just like that. Alright. Wow, that was quick. This shows the assembled work so far. Store it in the nameplate carefully until it's needed, so we don't really use this right now. Okay, that was issue 2. Okay, so now we're going to move on to issue number 3. So let's see. This is the engine room. You can see the beautiful parts, the smoke generator. Okay, in the tray. Okay, so let's take a look at step 1. Take the 4 starboard right cylinders together with the columns. You can see how we're going to put them. They're going to be held in place with BM screws, but what we got to do right now is we got to put them in position. See, I want to be able to show you guys. See, they're going to go in just like that, and we're going to put the screw in. But we're going to use the BM screws. I want to be able to show you guys. See the little screw in there? So this is going to be put into position just like that. And actually, let's use the one from the kit. There we go. There we go. See how that's going to look on the other side? Looks pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for the other ones. So they're all nice and snug and secure. And that's the completion of stage 2. So let's go to stage 3. And this looks like fun. We're going to connect the connecting rods and the pistons. We're going to position them as so. All right, let's do that first. There's 4. So you can see the section, the flat section, and the connector. And that's going to go, it's going to click into place just like this. There. And no, you do not want to glue this at all. Don't even think about gluing that. We'll take another one. You can see where they're going to go, just like that. And it clicks on. And we got one more. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to move on to step 4. You can see we're going to connect these to the camshaft or the crankshaft. And we've got it right here. You can see we're going to go to the outer one first. And the same kind of opening is going to click like that. That is so cool. All right, you're going to make sure too. We're going to start with the first one that's down. We're going to skip every other one. So we're going to go to the third one next. And we're going to put this on. It's going to click just like that. And then we're going to skip the next 2, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go to the 6th one. Again, click it into place. Actually, you've been doing it the same way. Just like that. And we're going to go to the last one. Just like that. You can see how they kind of move freely. Okay, so we're all set with this. What are we going to do with these now? Actually, let me put the extra BM screw away. And it's always good to have extra. We have an extra. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? Take the crankshaft rod assembly and hold it above the column assembly. So it's looking like we're going to do this. And we're going to make sure that the rods are going to go into the little areas like that. Alright, so when you're done, we're going to be able to take the pistons, put them into the grooves, just like that. You got to make sure they're in the grooves too. Alright, like that. Like that. Alright, so now you're going to take the other half and we're going to put them and we're going to fit the halves together. And what they're going to do is they're going to line up together. We got to make sure that they're in the grooves before we snap. See, they're going to snap into place. Alright, so you heard the little click. Maybe that's what I needed to do, was to just kind of release so they're not as tight, so they had a little bit of play to go into each other. Alright. Okay, so you can see all the cylinders are inside. Alright, what do we do next? So now we're going to use, say we're going to use these. And you can see where the groove is. They're going to go into the shaft. Alright, so we're going to lock it into place first. You can see we're going to get it into the grooves. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the next section and we're going to put them into place. And they're going to be held in place with CM screws. So let's go ahead, and we're going to need 4 of them. Alright, we got one section in. Okay, so we got these sections in. And this is probably a lot easier than when I made it. So these are all in. This section really doesn't want to snap into place. This one right here, it says not to glue it. We'll see. So you can see where the shaft is going to go into the end. And there's a little cap that's going to keep it from moving. Okay, so now we're ready to move on to step 9. And you can see we're going to put the little wheel on. Position the assembly upside down on your work surface. Take the crankshaft cog, 3N, and that will be this. Note that the recess in the cog is D-shaped and fits over the pin on the end of the crankshaft. Which one has a flat side? The cog should be fitted with the embossed details facing outwards. When you are happy with the fit, apply a little super glue to the pin. I don't know if you could see that. Just go in just like that. Alright. Now we're going to fit it onto the D shape. See where when it turns, the pistons go up and down. Alright. You might have to adjust this wheel. Okay, moving on. You can see the back. We're going to be fitting in and testing the smoke creator or the smoke generator. And you can see right here, and we're going to put the batteries in. Just like that. And we can get the smoke generator ready. You can see we're actually going to take the alligator clips. Okay, so what we did was we soaked the paper towel. We hooked up the circuit board. We got the wires on top. And let's go ahead and we're going to test it. So there should be smoke for the Titanic. Look at that. Okay, so what it says to do is remove the batteries when we're done. And this is the completed work. You can see we did the crankshaft on the engine pistons, and we tested the smoker. So that's complete. The cylinders, column, and crankshafts of the first engine have been assembled. The smoke generator has been tested. Remove the batteries from the tester and store the parts carefully. And we're going to move on to part 4 now. And you can see part 4. This should be a relatively quick section. Let's get the parts list ready. All right. More of the metal parts for the side of the hull. And it looks like these are going to go on to the part that we were working on. Place the hull assembly from issue 2 on your work surface and check the fit of the lower port hull with the line. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to put the screws into section to secure it on to the part that we had done. So it's going to go just like so. Starting to look very beautiful. And you can see the back and the plastic part where the screws are going. Here we are. And let's see, we're going to do the same thing for the top now. That's going to go just like that. You can see the brackets have them in place. And let's see, just a little bit of play there, but that's probably going to be taken up by another plastic plate. This one. Okay, so that's all set. So we got those in place. Now we're going to put in part 4C, and we're going to anchor it with 4 AM screws. There we are. You can see she's starting to come together. All right, what's next? You can see, take the nameplate and with issue 2 pegs in the back and fit the plate into the holes. Push firm into the place. Just a bit where it's going to go. Not a lot, just a little. And let's see, we're going to take it and we're going to put it in just like that. Looking pretty nice. And again, these are raised, and on the actual Titanic, they actually carved in the letters into the metal. So, all right, let's put the super glue away. And I want to keep track of all the extra screws, just like I do for the Enterprise. Matter of fact, I'm going to put all these into a section of my Enterprise D-build case that they sent. Okay, so That was quick. 2 more hull sections and a connector have been fitted to the port side of the hull. The nameplate has been fixed. Okay, my friends, so that was issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see we got a part of our hull. And we've got the forecastle deck. Beautiful. We did the engines, part of the engines. You can see when they move. We tested the smoke for the smokestacks, and that's everything. You can see where this is going to go. At some point, I'm going to go around over there. But this came out really nice. And again, I glued it. You probably, maybe you don't have to. There were some sections where they advise you to glue it, like the cargo hatch, because it wasn't all that secure when you put it in. For the most part, these pieces, they snap into place. As you can see, there's a little bit of extra on the underside where it holds it. But anyway, we just wanted to do it just to take the extra precaution. So that was shipment 1 of the AGORA Titanic, Build the Titanic. And this was so much fun. I had so much fun. I hope you had fun watching. And I can't wait until shipment number 2. And when that arrives, I'll do the same thing. We'll do an unboxing video. I'll show you everything that comes in the shipment. And then we'll do a build video. So my friends, until the next video, take care and thank you so much for watching.